It is state tournament basketball time in Tennessee. I guess technically, Michael, state tournament time started last week in Division II.
Yeah, don't forget about USJ. Big run to the state championship game.
Yeah, my bad. Congratulations to the Lady Bruins for run to the state championship, and I guess we can unofficially call them the Tennessee state champions since they were the last team playing from Tennessee.
Yeah, we'll call them Tennessee TSSAA state champs, and North Point the Mississippi TSSAA state champs.
There we go. They did lose to North Point in the championship on Saturday, but that is only the first leg of state championships for basketball and TSSAA out of 3 legs. The second leg starts this week with Division I girls as the entire state, after we get through, we're recording this on Monday afternoon, after boys sectionals get done tonight, everybody will kind of turn their attention toward Murfreesboro and the Murphy Center, as 24 teams in Division I will be going to play for 3 state championships. 4 of those teams are from rural West Tennessee. We're going to talk about those teams here for the next few minutes, and it just occurred to me, I have not introduced ourselves. I am Brandon Shields. He is Michael Odom, and we write about sports for the Jackson Sun, and this is the Jackson Sun Local Sports Podcast. Michael, 4 teams, 2 in AA, 2 in Single A, that are playing for state championships after winning their sectionals on Saturday night. Let's go ahead and start with AA, since we got the 1 team from Jackson still playing, and they're undefeated, and they're making history because it was about 6 years before any of these girls were, at least 6 years before any of these girls were alive the last time Southside made it to the state tournament. But Southside is in there.
Right, and for the second time in 24 years, they get a tough draw. They have to open the state tournament with Upperman this year, and Upperman was the state runner-up last year. So definitely a tough opener for Southside.
Who was their draw 24 years ago?
That would be the great Shelbyville, led by Rick Inzel.
23 years ago. That's my bad. It was in 1994, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 23 years ago. That's my fault, y'all. I can't do math. I also forgot what year it was. Anyways, so they got Upperman, which the last 4 weeks that the sports writers did a poll across the state, Southside was number 1. Upperman finished the last ranking, ranked number 2, which for whatever reason tends to happen for West Tennessee teams that finish ranked number 1. I remember Humboldt Manassas boys a few years ago played number 1 versus number 2 in the first round, and I mean you probably got about 15 other examples of it.
Northside Shelbyville, when Northside had those great number 2 ranked teams with the Candace Holidays, Leanne Davidsons, Tiffany Fishers, always had to go play Shelbyville first round.
Yeah. So, and to answer a few questions, because I remember seeing conversations on Twitter, the state writers poll or the media poll has no bearing on the seeding or the draw for TSSAA. TSSAA doesn't care about what a bunch of sports writers across the state thinks when it comes to ranking the teams. They have 8 sections. They have 8 sectional winners, and it's a blind draw other than the fact that they're going to keep teams that are in the same region from playing each other before the state championship. So
3 of the 8 AA teams in the state tournament were not even ranked in the final, state poll.
Well, it shows what y'all know then. Or did they come from weak? Did those 3 come from weak sectionals or what?
No, I just think that some of these teams got hot at the right time. That there was maybe a little parity in their district, in their region, and somebody got hot at the right time. And
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, the 2 from rural West Tennessee were 2 of the 5 that were ranked. And let's go ahead and start with number 1 Southside with their game against Upperman. I remember I sent Brent McNeil a text last week after they won their region to get to sectional. Just kind of congratulating, just being like, I'll go ahead and be honest with you. I've been expecting y'all to drop one because I saw them in mid-January and they were obviously better than Fayette Ware the night that I covered them, but they didn't play great and they weren't as impressive as the final score would have indicated. And I kept waiting for them to drop a game. They had Chester County, Lexington, Bolivar in their district play. I can't remember after that point if they had any tough non-district games in the regular season, but then you had to play them all again in the district tournament. And in the span of 3 games, they had Westview, Crockett County, and I forgot who they played in the first round of the region tournament. But
Southside played.
Oh, South Gibson, because I covered that.
You're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, sorry.
Amnesia.
Yeah, sorry. It's been a lot going on. But I told him, I said, if I'd known you would have played those 3 teams in a row, I would have been, okay, they're going to lose at least one. So, coming in undefeated, is that momentum going to be enough to carry them past Upperman and get them into the semifinals?
I mean, Upperman's a very good team. This is the second year in a row they've played a West Tennessee team to open the state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Last year it was Haywood. Haywood was up after 3 quarters. They had Akira Levy, the Miss Basketball finalist. This is the second year in a row she's been a Miss Basketball finalist. Had her in foul trouble, but she comes back in the fourth quarter. Scores 20 points in the fourth quarter to lead Upperman not only to that win, but on to that runner-up finish. So Southside's going to have to come out and play well. They can't, mess around. They're going to have to come out, play good defense, stay out of foul trouble. Saturday night against Liberty, Cheyenne Cunningham got into foul trouble, and Michaela Tranzo and Quinardra Miller kind of had to lead from the guard position. So I think that's really going to be key. Southside can't get into foul trouble against a team like Upperman and the experience that they bring to this game.
Yeah. Well, the other local AA team is Westview. Let's talk about them for a minute.
Westview has a team?
Yeah.
It's only their 5th time making the state
I was going to say,
tournament.
5th straight tournament appearance for the Lady Chargers. I think it's the second or third coach in the 5-year span.
Second.
Just a second.
Just Sean Stevenson, who's now at Gleason, and then
Brian
Haskins.
Okay, for some reason I thought there was anybody in between. But anyways, they finally got over the hump into the semifinals last year. Can they take the next step this year?
No, and if you look, they drew another East Tennessee team. Nothing new. I mean, the past couple years, until last year, like the 3 previous years, Elizabethton out east eliminated them.
Right.
Last year, they get over the hump, beat an undefeated Elizabethton team in the quarterfinals, and then they lost to East Nashville. This year, they drew a Gatlinburg-Pittman team that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. They beat Greenville in sectionals, which was a team that has given Westview a loss. Mm-hmm. Greenville beat Westview back at Christmas at a Christmas tournament out east, which was before Tasia Jones started playing. Mm-hmm. So Westview's a little different. But that Upperman Southside 6 o'clock on Wednesday. This one is an 11:30 a.m. game on Thursday.
No.
Don't know a lot about Gatlinburg-Pittman yet. Hoping to get some information on them as the next couple days comes before we hit state tournament play. But Westview, they've been in tight games this year. The Southside game, they had a chance to beat Southside, but turnovers and giving up fast breaks kind of hurt them there. Down at Haywood, had a big lead, lost it, and then Mary Catherine Tucker hit 2 free throws with 4 seconds left to send them back to the state tournament.
So they're obviously riding a lot of momentum right now. Talking about single A for the next couple of minutes, I've seen Huntington a couple of times, most notably this past Saturday in their overtime win over TCA to get to state. You've seen them more than I have. You've also seen Dresden. Thursday will be the first time that I get to see them. Just tell us first a little bit about Huntington and kind of what they bring to the table this week.
Yesterday I was watching the draw on Periscope, and with single A, there's 4 regions that have 2 teams. So those 4 regions, those teams have to be on opposite ends. So it was basically, each one of those regions had to have one in the top and each one in the bottom.
Right.
Huntington was the 3rd team drawn because Clark Range and Perry County will start the single A tournament. Mm-hmm. And so we get, after Huntington's drawn, there's 1 team left, and there's only 2 options. You have South Green, the defending state champs, with everybody back, led by, I'd say, the favorite to win Miss Basketball in Taylor Lamb.
Is this the team that had some local team last year played a team with like 2 really good twins? Is this the team that had the twins last year?
No, that's Westview. That was Elizabeth.
Okay, my apologies.
The Marasites.
My bad. Okay, go ahead.
Kayla and Kelsey Marasite, who are playing at East Tennessee State University.
Okay.
So they could either play South Green, the defending state champs, with everybody back, or Hampton, who has 13 losses. I think that Huntington got the better draw. They get to play Hampton at 2:45 on Thursday. Not saying that that's a guaranteed win, but I'd much rather play Hampton than South Green because South Green's very experienced, very good players. So Hampton wasn't at the state tournament last year. So this is a chance for Huntington to go up there and be successful. You know, they have a coach in Ferris Lowry who's been successful at the state tournament level, led Northside to a state championship game before they lost to Whitney Houston and Hillcrest.
Whitney Houston?
Yeah, Whitney Houston. She went on to play at Colorado.
Okay, go ahead.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that, but go ahead.
Yeah, that was Gwen Delk senior year at Northside.
She had a bodyguard, too, but go ahead.
And he also led Milan to the state tournament way back when they had the Smith girl that went on to play at Alabama. So this is a coach that knows how to prepare teams to play at this level.
Okay. I just didn't realize Whitney Houston played basketball for TSSAA in the 90s while she was...
That would be 2000.
Or in the 2000s after her really good decade of chart-topping hits in the 90s. But anyways, talk about Dresden. Tell us about them and their opponent.
Right after Huntington gets done, the Philly fans, if they win, they'll be happy to stick around and cheer on their district foe in Dresden because they'll play the very next game at 4:30 against Summertown. You know, Summertown's always got good teams. There is one opponent that we know about for Summertown, Riverside. They played at Christmas. Summertown won by 16 points. So it would seem to be that this should be a good competitive game. Dresden, you know, had to get over the hump on Saturday and beat Middleton, the team that's eliminated them the last 2 years. Middleton missed 5 free throws in a row down the stretch.
Right.
Dresden made their shots and was able to pull off the 1-point win. This is a very scrappy Dresden team that's not going to get... I don't think that they're going to get nervous or get, you know, befuddled or, you know, off their game because they're playing at the state tournament.
Well, and kind of speaking about the way they beat Middleton. One, it got them over the hump, but two, just the way they won. We got a couple of minutes left that we can kind of talk about this. How much confidence do you think beating Middleton the way they did in a close matchup, in essentially a comeback win? You know, how much confidence is that going to give them this week that if they get in a close game that they can overcome the odds?
Well, you got to look at even the last two. I mean, in the region championship, they beat Huntington, a team that beat them 3 times.
Right.
And from what I've heard from the reporter that was there, Dresden played terrible in the first half and really played, you know, well in the second half and came from behind. So this last game and a half, I feel like Dresden's kind of put things together and are playing their best. And I'm sure Jonathan West is going to hope that continues over into Thursday. This team's got confidence. They've got a good post player, got really good guards with Casey Gallimore and Millie Bryant. And, you know, I think that they've got a little bit of confidence going in after the win over Huntington and the win over Middleton to get here.
All right, we got about a minute to go. Let's go real quick. Tip-off times for everybody. Southside is the only one that plays on Wednesday.
Southside plays Wednesday at 6 p.m., the final game of the day. You'll have the 4 AAA games. Then we'll have 2 AA, Fulton, East Nashville, then Upperman, Southside. And then Thursday morning, we'll kick off with Pearl-Cone, Macon County. Then Westview plays at 11:30. Then we'll get going into Single A with Huntington at 2:45 and Dresden at 4:30.
So it's going to be a busy day on Thursday for West Tennessee sports. It's going to be a busy next couple of weeks with sectionals and state tournaments and stuff. So
you better eat your Wheaties Thursday morning.
Okay. And drive
Bruce
fast.
Jenner Wheaties.
Stop it. Okay. Anyways, good luck to all the teams that are playing that are still alive. Be safe to everyone who's going to be driving over to Murfreesboro. All right, we're just going to end it there. Thanks for listening, and good luck again. Talk to you later.